What is happening, guys? Martinez back again. You know where we are, so let's get into it. So, guys, I've had now probably 12 hours or so with this one. This is Zara White Soho. So I spent some time with this one, guys, and it's one of those fragrances where, again, when you do your first impressions, sometimes it's very difficult to pinpoint a fragrance. Sometimes some fragrances are very clear and they're quite distinct as to where they're going. This particular fragrance to me wasn't very clear, and I've worn this now in the office. I've had this on for, as I say, around about 12 hours. This one to me smells probably slightly more mature than the other one, which is the Cool Heights. This one, as I say, is slightly more relaxed. This one is probably more appropriate for a office setting. It is slightly floral. I think there's an element of musk in there, but at the same time, it maintains a level of, if you imagine like a marshmallow smell, it's very difficult to really define it. There's no real clear sort of note I could say or point to from my nose, but that being said, that's just my opinion. I would recommend it, but in comparison to the two, I would probably go slightly more along the lines of the other Cool Heights rather than this one, just on the basis that this one's a little bit too relaxed for me. It's a little bit too reserved. It says on the box that both of them are eau de parfum. But that being said, though, guys, for me, it's just one of those fragrances which is just okay. The compliments were there. Let me just get the box up again. Just make sure we got this one right. Yeah, eau de parfum. Yeah, made in Spain. Don't really say anything else, guys. For me, the compliments were there only in respect of I had to actually ask what the ladies think of it. It wasn't necessarily a scenario of this is standing out. It was just more a case of, yeah, it's just okay. It's all right for the office, but it's not necessarily one I would really go for. And that's what the lady said to me. So that being said, guys, for me, this is okay if you want a slightly more mature vibe, you want a slightly more relaxed vibe. As I say, it does smell to me slightly feminine to some extent. There is a floral note in there, like a, if you imagine, like I say, like a marshmallow type of, it's hard to describe. I'm going to go along the line slightly of Paco Rabanne Pure Excess just for now. That's just what's coming to me as that I can come to my nose. If you try and get your nose on that, it's not necessarily a Coca-Cola vibe or anything like that, but there is this sort of woodsy note in there, which is, I think, it's like a, imagine like a white musk type of smell. That's what I'm getting from this one, guys. It's very hard to describe this one in my opinion. And for those guys that have maybe got your nose on this one, what do you think? Have you tried it out? For me, it was just okay. As I say, the compliments weren't really there. It's just one of those things where it's slightly more mature, but at the same time, it may work for some people. I probably wouldn't wear this in probably the too high heat because, say, this floral sort of feminine element to it, it might be a little bit too much. It might be overpowering. That being said, for the autumn, probably it's okay. It's still bright, it's still got some freshness to it, but again, it's slightly mellow. It doesn't pop out where the other fragrance has a bit of a pepper note in there. This one is slightly more relaxed, it's slightly more suave, but not suave enough to make somebody would say, yes, I need to get a bottle of that one, or yes, that's the fragrance for me. You could try it, you can add it to your collection, but I do suspect that this one probably will just fall away from the wayside a little bit. Maybe it'll come back in my rotation periodically, but that's just it with this one, guys. It's difficult to really define it, unfortunately, because there's no information on it, and I'm just trying to give you my first impressions after now I've had the time with it, but it doesn't seem to really say much more than it's just a nice scent. And I think with this one, guys, it's a little bit mediocre because it doesn't really, it's not really, it's difficult to say if this is a clone in my opinion. It's coming from somewhere, but I just can't pinpoint what that one is, guys. So I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I'm going to leave it there for now. That was my review of this one. Again, it's just a bit of a further addition to the previous video I did. Unfortunately, guys, I just can't pinpoint where this one is coming from. So, guys, by all means, if you know, please let me know if you got your nose on it. For me, I'm going to go along those lines and say Pure Excess. Slightly along those lines. That's what's coming to my nose anyway, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you very much. Martinez. Ciao.